So I've got over 500 hours, can pick up 600 hours in the game. I just did a search on Spiritual Assault on Google. And the first video I went for 12 minutes on the easy map, and they all died in co-op. Because it can be really hard if you don't know some of the tricks. This is something I've already got a few months ago. I've done videos on how to beat mid-forward. There's a new map come out. And I'll just show you the two, how to select them. That's the standard one that's been around forever. That came out a few days ago, and as soon as it came out, I went into it and I beat it straight off. Just using the same principles as I do there. But if you're using this for farming, and I've just finished a video, it won't be up by the time you see this, I'll put it up over the next week when I get the time. This is the better map to farm essence, and it's the best farming essence for when you hit level 60 when Spiritual Assault unlocks to level 90, and the reason for that is your talents play no effect. This is a save that I just did where I beat the game in 20 hours all the way through to Reincarnation 8 Jockle. I was just seeing how many hours and what skill tree order, and that's what the video will be about. That will be up in the next week or so. But basically the skill tree order when you are doing Reincarnation is to get this tree down as quick as possible. These are the most three important trees. These are the secondary trees. Being able to etch and get Gemini early is why we can actually, well, the brilliance is you don't get that until about level 90. But in here, we get etching and are able to re-roll Gemini, and Spores is the best in the game. It only got patched in August of 2022, so any videos before that, and the majority are on this game before that, we'll mention miasma and all these others, which you can still get if you take painkiller in a Reincarnation run. You'll reverse and do manipulation, miasma, combustion, as well as Spores, and be destroying the hardest content in the game. Anyway, but your hero stuff does. Now the best one, if you're farming essence or you're just trying to beat this on a hero, the bunny is one of the better ones because it's got built into the talents movement speed. So I'm getting 50% movement speed all the time because I'm one-shotting everything you'll see in a minute. And then you've got this one of recharging every 3 seconds. It's uninterruptible. And then on top of that, with our talents, we get a 1 or 2 points into Saw Guard, which I just had in that run. And then you're hoping for some defensive scrolls. Understand that the scrolls that are unlocked for Spiritual Assault are unlocked only in Reincarnation. Sorry, only in the normal, the adventure mode. So the best defensive scrolls, just as a bit of an intro here in the logbook, only unlock on elite or harder difficulty. So many of you, if you're doing this harder map, will have already unlocked everything, but for those that haven't unlocked, the only weapon that doesn't unlock in normal mode that's important is a radioactive glove, and again that unlocks by killing 20 venomous lizards in elite or higher. So as soon as you're comfortable with that, start on the elite. And the defensive ones that are down the bottom here, that's a really good one for the bunny, by the way. Anybody that wants to reduce their primary down, it doesn't help the fox, unfortunately. That unlocks at 70, very strong defensive, but you don't get it very often. But these ones here unlock by killing the bosses on elite or higher. And this one here. So, yeah, anyway, just make sure you do as soon as you're comfortable and you want to get in there at level 60. But many of you are probably watching this video saying, look, I've already beat the game, I'm just coming back for the new map. So let's have a look at it. The key to this is the Concentrator loadout. This is what I use on every hero, and I beat it on every hero. And there is already videos a few months ago how to beat the mid-forward map, which is the same principles to beat here. The timers are a bit different though, and I'll explain that when I get in. So this forces your shotguns and the Wild Hunt or the Argus, or even in a pinch the Wheel Saw or the Hell. Anything temporary won't matter because we can reforge, re-roll for free. Now it limits us to 20 scrolls. I'm not bothered by that, and you'll see why I'm not bothered by that because I just beat it. It means that when gold is hard early and you might get an unlucky roll of 6, 7 or 8 rolls. I've actually had 13 one time as my record. 13 times 300, it's 3,900 gold that you don't have at level 1 or level 5 or whatever it is. Now without this, the way that Geminis drop is it's to do with weapon level. and timers. So there's two things that affect it in the game. So that will mean a minute and a half into this map, when you kill 50 enemies, they'll all have Geminis. Normally they won't drop until level 12, 13, depending upon how many enemies you've killed and the timers that are happening. This one gives you, we're level 45, I just did then, I was 45 on this map. I've been 51 on the other map because there's more enemies to kill in the timers of 10 minutes, 10 minutes and 10 minutes, and then Elite comes at the end of 10 minutes, and then the boss. But 45 times 3, that's 135% weapon damage straight up for a one-pointer, so that is an essential thing. You know, because we're relying on weapon damage, not skill damage in this run. Skills really are keeping me alive. They don't scale well in Reincarnation, Act 3 and 4, and they don't really in the third trimester. Everything's bullet sponges. But Spores does as you keep pumping up the shotgun, and that's how Spores works. You don't level the main weapon. Gives you the freedom to drop the main weapon at any time. This one's good for everybody, but especially, I mean, it's good for the bunny, and I love movement is life in any of these, you know, maps in Spiritual Assault, both of them. And the reason being that you're moving away, things can't hit you, and you're straafing around enemies, and they just do their frontals to where you just were, or they try to shoot where you just were. So that gives me 25%. The hero's already got 50%, so that's 75% movement speed before I get ostrich boots, abnormal speed. Forget the name of the other one, but it gives you 40% movement speed for 3 seconds after dashing. You know, you get a combination of those, but even without it, you got 75% straight up. So you're not crawling around and getting killed. This one is really important for armor, and armor can be a real issue on some heroes. We got ammo extractor on this hero, but even with that, we level on average every 50 seconds. Level 45, you'll do the game in about 38 minutes, so, you know, somewhere around there. And that means that ammo is not an issue, and it is an issue without that. Now this one's optional. It just means with the injector that you're not reloading as much, but you can get depth hands and against the flow, Genesis and other things that help with that. But if you don't get it, that just helps. And this hero has got ammo extractor, so, you know, that helps me not run out of ammo as well. So that's the screenshot to take, works for any hero. They cost 20 to unlock, but they unlock for every hero. Now, I will jump onto the save file, as I said with my save files. So this has got 500 hours in the game. I did that in co-op and worked out a lot of the game in those hours, did achievements, unlocked all the frames, so it's 100% on that save file. Then I did a save file where I wanted to beat everything from beginning to end solo, and that was my goal, just to keep it fresh, and it's a lot harder solo, as this is a lot harder solo, without a friend to pick you up if something goes wrong. You die here, you die, that's it, it's over. So this is about solo and co-op. I did some yesterday with my son and we had a fun time. But if you die, it's not the end of the run. So, you know, I just solo then, and it can be just as successful if you know a few tricks. Now this one is one I just did where I beat the game from beginning to end, showing, and I'll put that up in the next week, how to beat the game, you know, 21 hours, and I did an 8 jockle, and that's about the hours you need. You know, I did it about 20 hours. That's an extra hour I did on some Spiritual Assault just then. So about 20 hours, I had it all unlocked, if you know the efficient way to do it. And I'll put that video up for you later. So I'm just going to run on mine. Oh, you know, this save will be all right. How much essence have I got on this one? I've got 1700. Okay. Just need a little bit to maybe re-roll one of the goblets. Okay, so we just do new adventure. Not new adventure, Spiritual Assault we're doing, aren't we? Choose the heart. Now this is a harder map, so if you're farming, as I said, do that one. And there's videos already up about beating that, but things have changed since I did the videos. There's some treasure hunter stuff guys in there. There's some seals that have dropped new in the patches, and they can be really helpful. Choose whatever weapon you're comfortable with, because you won't be keeping it that long, but you know, this one's a bit harder. So in the other map, let me explain. 1 minute into the game, you can run around and kill nothing. 1 minute there will be Geminis on the Craftsman. But in this one, it's a minute and a half, and they won't necessarily have Geminis on the Peddler when the Craftsman appears. But every 50 enemies, we will go press the wrong weapon then, but it doesn't matter. So we're just waiting for, at the top of the screen, a minute and a half to that little bunny goes towards to the right to the gold goblin. So make sure you don't kill more than 50. So just kill some stuff. That's 2. I actually count when I'm not doing the video. 3, 4. This does have a... now we want to go for the rainbow or the radioactive glove if you've got that unlocked. But the rainbow is the better weapon in here. Just do a Q. I'm not counting now. Get rid of these guys. Now you can die really early until you get spores, so I've got to be a bit careful. Got no upgrade. I don't do any upgrades on the left of the screen until I get the 1.5-minute Peddler and I get my... even if it's temporary weapons, I'll pick up anything. The worst shoddy that could drop for us is the... not a bad shotgun per se, but for spores, which we need in here. And Gemini is the illusion. It's only got a very low projectile count base damage, but I'll still pick it up and roll it because it's free to roll, just to give me some deeps until the next 50 enemies will give me a better drop rate. Last one I just did, I got straight away my Argus, and I got my rainbow on the first 50. It's just how it can be. Okay, so where's Craftsman over there, just to show you. Here, usually don't have Gemini. See, they don't have Gemini on it, so... in the other map, 1 minute in, they would have Gemini and you could have one of your weapons. But look, we only got 150 gold. We've barely got enough to buy a weapon, so... just keep killing and you'll see both the shoddy and the injector, which could be, you know... not, you know, I don't like the thunderclap and I don't like the laser gun, but I'll pick up anything at this stage just to get spores on it. That's not our 50 yet. Has it got Gemini out of interest? I don't think so yet, has it? No. So you have to wait for that 50. Now in the other map, anything that drops after that Peddler will have Gemini. That's why it's also the easier map to do. Come on. A lot less enemies in here to kill. We would have killed like 100 by now on the other map. Oh, there we go. We got an injector and an illusion, unfortunately, but we got the injector, which I'm happy with. Got to get rid of that. Now it's easy to die here. You could wait till the next Peddler, but what have we got there? Run across in solo play, and they actually changed this in co-op. Just going to have a sip of my coffee. It's morning here. In solo play, it's paused, so you got your time to re-roll and reforge, and nothing can kill you. But we did test yesterday with my son. I saw a patch note a month ago that said in co-op that's the case. Now everything still runs around you, but I said just let everything hit me on the Peddler, and they were shooting at me, but I wasn't taking damage. So you got to dart away from it, but you can do this as well. It used to be in co-op, I'd say cover my back, I'm reforging. It doesn't need to be done anymore, just as a tip if it's co-op that you're doing. So now this would cost us 300 gold to re-roll. We don't even have the 300 gold at this point. And you wouldn't be able to etch or anything if you didn't do the loadout that I said. So I said if you don't have that one that makes the weapons drop 3 levels, these would not be able to have Gemini on them. Okay, we got 1 roll each. We got lucky. Even that though, 600 gold, we wouldn't have it. I'm just going to swap my weapons around, and I'm waiting for a shoddy now. Now I can just start killing. Now we're doing not as much damage as I normally would because the illusion isn't brilliant projectile count. It's only got a projectile count of 7 and 70. The Argus would be 13 and something at that level. It'd be about 120. But it's enough to kill, as I said, temporary. I'm just not going to upgrade it on the left of the screen. You can do 1 upgrade just to get some Ascensions, just to show you. You can waste 1. I'll just do that. It's going to be wasted, but to get some scrolls, some Ascensions, we got Warlike Blade. I'll show you the build I'll do for this in a second. So the build I'm going for is this is top pick for survivability. I spam my E key, my sword's out, and that will keep me alive and regen my shield. That gets me rate of fire, and I'm looking on the weapon for what rate of fire eventually. The faster that I fire, the faster the 30 stacks of spores will stack up and then explode, stack up and explode. So rate of fire on any hero is the way to go. Some have Ascensions, that's why the bunny's really good for spores. You get a few of these and you're rocking away, but you can compensate without having it on the weapon. 50% killing enemies, rate of fire, that sort of thing. So first, second, third pick to make our queue, which hopefully to get one of those will make them actually do 30% less damage and slow them a little bit, but it means that they're starting to hit harder and harder, and it's proccing also every 12 hits. Look at the bottom of that. It procs the damage every 12 hits. That's why we also want a fast firing weapon on the bunny, but any enemy. I've done all heroes. I'm about to do a video on this map on all 12 heroes, all 8 heroes as well, just to update my playlists, which has been a month since I put videos up. So, and I'm only doing content that isn't already up there. That's why I just searched for Spiritual Assault in this map. People just aren't really doing this game. And the one that came up as the top search really wasn't helpful. So we got that one there for second pick, third pick, fourth pick, fifth pick. Flower Chain just spreads it around like an AoE as we're hitting one enemy. And then 1 point in that, and 1 point in that is good. You can do more, but don't invest in more than that. But top pick is that, and we're hoping for some survivability skills. Spores will carry me. 1 point in that's all right as well. Okay, that's the build out of the way, at least for the bunny. All my builds are on all other characters. It's on the old map, but the builds are linked. And Ascensions, scrolls are talked about in great detail. So if you're trying to work out a certain hero to beat this on, that information is still valid and not changed. Now, seals have been added. What's this one? All players become invincible. I do like the snap. I think it's called persistent snap. Oh, that's really good for... I'm not going to go through scrolls, but it's great for spores. Then we got a second one, we got a wheel saw, and unfortunately we got, the wheel saw is better, but I'm going to just wait for the Peddler coming up. It's got a projectile count of 10 and a higher base damage than this, so it would perform better than the illusion, but as you can see, there's not enough enemies at this stage with me being so powerful. It does get harder in the third trimester. It's very easy to die. I'm not even looking at the enemies at the moment. The other tip I'd say is look at your mini-map. This weapon shoots through walls, it shoots up, it shoots down. I'm trying to get as many kills in as I can in the 10-minute timer. So I think it's 6 minutes the next Craftsman appears. Well, it is on the other map. I'm not sure. I'll have to pay attention on this one. But I'm just heading towards the red dots. Not using any skill damage, just looking at the dots and heading towards them. Because the more enemies I kill in the 10-minute timer, the more levels I get, the more Ascensions I get, the more scrolls I get, and upgrades for my gun, you know. There's a chest, which I won't do the chests or anything unless there's enemies near it. But, you know, I just watched that other video and you'll be struggling here. This makes it look like this map is easy. You try doing this map without spores, you know. I didn't see what level we are. We're only level 8, but level 4 were we? 5? Took one to the face then. Our movement speed, you can see the bunny is just wonderful. Have a quick check. It does pause the game. This is good, and I can come back to it because you won't be spending gold on anything for the odd scroll. So I'm going to see what I get here. I'm looking for defense. No, I have to come back. It gets deer quick. Let me just do a little bit more. Yeah, I'll do that for health regen. Survivability is what I'm doing. It does do 50% more damage to me, but it means if I get hit and I'm doing some decent damage, I'll get back. It's got Gemini on it. What have we got on it? I'm looking for Rate of Fire. That's got Decay. This is the preferred weapon here, but I'll stick there. I won't do any upgrades. Heading towards the red dots. Heading towards 6 minutes going to be on this map too, by the looks of it. It's weird that the coding's different. It's a minute half on this map. It's a minute on the other map for the first Craftsman. The enemies in here are all from Act 2. And the most dangerous enemies in here are the arsonists. You also get the snipers, what are they called? The retainers, tacticians. The rogue villains can do a shot to the face and hurt too. That just was in front of me. And we just got another radioactive glove up there I have a look at. I'm just looking for rate of fire on it at this stage. I don't care about lucky shot or anything like that. Rate of fire will outperform with spores. Okay, so go straight to your Peddler before you forget. And you want to look on the Peddler itself and see if there's a scroll. It's the only thing that we really care about. Unless there could be a weapon, but I haven't got my Argus yet, which is unusual. I'm going to do that simply that I don't get slowed by the corrosive guys coming up. The arsonists with corrosion can kill you, the elites. And I can't upgrade, so I'm going to have to get my shoddy soon and commit to it. Now I'm going to get the illusion quickly that dropped, the warlike blade. This one here, I've forgotten its name now, wheel saw. It's got a 10 and that one's only got 7 and 70. This got 10 and 100, so it's an extra 25% stronger that our spores is going to hit. And the way spores works, if you read it, it's a combination of the projectile and the weapon damage. When it reaches 30 and how hard it hits is to do with the off weapon that you're not actually shooting with this one. Unusual, I haven't got a wild hunt or I could settle on that, but I'll get it. As long as I'm killing all right, I'm not disadvantaged. I just don't want to let the Craftsmans disappear, and they will soon if I don't upgrade by the 10-minute timer. So I better put my... I wouldn't be killing anything if I didn't put spores on that weapon. Talking away here. Reforge is what I meant to do, that's it. And you only upgrade the off weapon. So here they come, heading towards the dots. Just remember where your craftsmen are. There's not a that bad little circuit here. They don't follow you on around like the other map. They'll all chase you because most of them are melee. A lot of these guys are ranged, like that guy there, and some range are fixed, like the tacticians won't come across to you. You'll have to chase them over the map. So I'm just looking for the dots and heading towards where the dots are on the map and trying to keep aware of any weapons that drop. Oh, there's a wild hunt, so I do have my weapon. I just didn't pay attention before. And there is a craftsman just here. So now we can do our upgrades. So enhance that one before it disappears, reforge that, run to the other one. Now we've got our treasure weapon. Let's just do him first. So go towards the yellow on the screen, look at the mini-map. It's only 1, sometimes it's 5 to kill. And that can be tough if it's in the second trimester. There's a bit of a randomness about it, but this one will be easy. It's not expecting us to be like nuking with spores this early, so we're just blitzing it. Look at that, 2 scrolls come out. Only pick up the scrolls if they're really good. That one is not good for this weapon, Merciless Combo is, but because this only does normal weapon damage, we'd actually be losing Lucky Shot if we get Lucky Shot on the weapon. Okay, I'm going to dash to the other guy, killing stuff along the way. And there's an Argus, so I already upgraded that, but that would have been better. What do we get on that one? Check all that when the peddlers appear, by the way, or the bosses, the elites die. I'm just having a bit of a check, so we'll bump that up. Now we're ready to go. We're sweet for the run now. We'll get our shoddy for the run. Projectile count's good. The base damage is 200 now. Spores are hitting hard. Just keep moving is the key here. I want to get a sword guard, and I haven't got that yet, have I? So I have to do my upgrades. Switch to the weapon you want to upgrade. Veteran's a bit hard to stack in here, but we'll try to get some health stacks. That gives you health increase, but you have to be close within 7 meters. Good if you're on the bird because you're playing the close game early on. We'll do that one there. Not going to do the build here because I do it elsewhere. That's a good one if you do the radioactive glove, which I might later, so I'm going to pick it. Didn't pick any there. I don't need the bullet, do any of those. I know what they all are now, but you can pause and then mouse over if you're not sure. And I'm going to do a video on all the scrolls because they've been adding scrolls every patch nearly. Over the last 4 months, I only started playing the game. We got a Warlock Blade, but I really want to get 1 point in a Sword Guard for survivability. I've got no survivability scrolls, and I've got no, and the music just changed, so it's heating up. What are we now? 8 minutes, so 8 minutes 10, just in under 2 minutes, we're going to have the first set of elites come. We're so powerful that we won't have trouble with them. What did I get for my, I'm immune for 20 seconds when I press it. Press my G key, I've got that moused to my, next to my thumb. So I don't have to delay. If I'm about to die, I can press that and I'll be immune for 20 seconds. I can stand still on the elites and kill them. Heading towards the dots. Remember, you can shoot through corners. I'm just playing a bit more aggressively. Oh, that was merciless. Yep. It's only good if you had a weapon that you're critting, and this one, the rainbow, is superior. So we got a shoddy there, but not what we want. That's not an injector, so it wasn't our 50 kills. It's just randomly weapons do drop. Got no sword guard to get my shield back up, so I got hit then. Upgrade. You can shoot through walls. You can shoot up, down, use your corners. It's the beauty about this weapon. I've got my dash 3 times, which is helpful in here, especially on the boss. Dashing away from the hand swipe he does. Just keep moving, spread out the enemies. I have to be more careful because last run I got heavy shield and I got sword guard straight up, so I could be more aggressive. So just run around the whole map if you want, but I want to get as many kills in to get as many levels. So I get as many choices of Ascensions, weapon upgrades and scrolls in the 10-minute timer. What are we now? We're 3 seconds the elites are going to appear. There they are. As soon as we kill them, everything else in the map will die. And that's how quick we killed them. Spores, baby. It's all about spores early. Somebody on one of my videos I did, I'm just going to have a sip of my coffee this morning, said spores is boring. Like it's so flaming. Gemini inscription. You can do miasma on want and die. Or you can do manipulation, have 2 enemies fighting each other and then get killed by the other 50 enemies in here. And I think just some people like to find. Now that's a really good one. I'm going to do the rule here. Normally I would try to re-roll Firearm Specialist, which gives me 100% weapon damage. But this is great survivability on the bunny. It means I'm not using my skills. I am at the moment. I mean, I'm not using them at all. But I'm hoping to get Sword Guard, and that means I can get my shield regen on a very good cooldown. And I've never done a run where I haven't got a sword guard. So we've got to get one at some point. If not, Deptans will do, so we're not using any ammo. We've got Warlike Blade, but I really want Sword Guard. So we've got 3 of those, our second pick, swapping to upgrade our shoddy, get that up as high as we can, and maybe always check the Peddler to see if there's a good scroll. That's a good one, especially early on. We're going to get 10% for every elite we kill. I don't know, there's probably, there's lots of elites. And then we want to upgrade our off-gun. And this will give us freedom. We want to get something better than that. We want to get something with rate of fire on it. It's already doing 1200, but if we get 50% rate of fire killing an enemy, that'll bump up to 1800. Our Warlike Blade will also bump that up. We'll see what that does when I start killing. Still got the invincibility one, which will be useful for the next, but if I see the snap one that kills all enemies, I'm going to pick that up. Starts to get harder now. Enemies become more health, more damage done to you. We've got no defensive scrolls at all. I've got that segment, I forgot, but then we're really about shield regen on this character. It's a, oh crap, maybe. No, we just got an Argus and might have a radioactive glove that's decent. Yes, I'm going to go for that, I think. Let me have a look. You can pause here and have a read. Rate of fire on killing on crit. This weapon doesn't crit, won't help us. That's got crit again. Oh, it's got rate of fire, 50% rate of fire on that, so definitely better. And it will also group up the enemies and do an AoE to the 3 enemies within 6 meters or 6 yards for the Americans. So we'll bump that up. And now what you do is play the long game. Just got a lot more range, so just have them grouped up. When you do enhanced beam, the right click there, every 1 second it is. If they're nice and grouped like this, it'll kill everything around it. That was my old one, wasn't it? Yep. The rainbow, if you want to be a little bit more defensively, but this will slow because of the corrosion. So anything that, like the arsonists that are coming towards you, the most dangerous coming up now in this, they'll start spawning. It'll slow them, which is nice. Don't know, I don't think it slows the elites. Oh, actually it does slow the elites. Well, it does in the other map. Snow boots is good not to get slowed by the... Oh, actually, we've already got corrosive shard. So you can get rid of those. But that one or that one you want to do so you don't get slowed by any corrosion done to you by some of the elites coming up. They just slow you with their... I forget what they're called. They're arsonists, but they do a corrosion gun at you. That ticks on you. Not only does it really hurt, you're dead. Just, it'll drop you. Now, it's pretty not crazy now, but just wait for the last 10 minutes. Trying to stay alive is pretty hard on this map. This is a good spot for this one because you got range just to, if they come towards you. So when later on when it heats up, I go to that room. And this weapon will do really long range. The rainbow, you have to be close and use your corners. And this won't shoot through walls, of course. You have to have line of sight. Something's doing fire on me. You see the pink damage proccing because of our build. Not even doing my thing, but every 12 hits, if they last a little bit of time, we'll start to get some fatal balloon damage even without casting it. Man, oh, that'll help. Not doing our swords out, that'll help give us some 30% defense while casting, and it's on 80% cooldown, so it's constant. It's also good once we start. It's another weapon. Also good when we get elites, just helps you burn them down with some damage, your skill as well as your weapons. Chest just spawned. You just wait to the peddlers to have a look at those. I mean, you can if you go past them. It does pause. In single player it pauses. In solo play, just be aware of where you are in the quadrant so you can see the other person's position. You know, where I'm on voice with my son yesterday, and we'll just sort of follow each other close. So if one person does go down, though we had a contest yesterday, both got on the bunny, and whoever could beat the most DPS at the end. And we both got feline cat, and we both got glass cannon, which I'd never choose without feline cat, which gives 200% damage, but it also gives you no health and no shield, and it halves it. Come on, where are you guys? Not enough people to kill here. I'm running too fast. And as I said, you've got to run towards them here. They don't chase you very fast, these enemies, like the other map. But when they do spawn later on, they're pretty brutal. That's 35% white damage, and this weapon's only doing that. The rainbow will do crit damage, which on the boss is good. So I'll try to go back to the rainbow for that. You right-click the crit spot of the face on Gluttony. And that's it. But you haven't got time in this. Everything's too frantic. I'm not going to right-click someone's crit spot in here. They're just dying so quick. Should I have a look at that chest? It's just up there, isn't it? I never take that unless I get the immunity, the evil banishing talisman, which I might get on a peddler, or as one of my choices for upgrading. What do we get there? Nope. They're just not expecting you to be this powerful early, so they go pretty easy on you on the spawn rate. But let me tell you that that changes. Once you've got a million arsonists changing you, and you've got tacticians snipering you, just got another chest spawned. Just here, I'll have a quick look. Remember, it pauses single player. Don't do this unless it's in the breaks. Otherwise, I want to get ostrich boots or something. Oh, we got movement. That's what I want, just to get around quicker. Just dashing. So if you get dash cooldowns, good with that one. So we got 50 from the character, 25, which is 75 from our concentrator, and we just got another 40% for 3 seconds. So, you know, 100 and something. Can't add that up, it's too early. My first roguelike game. I'm trying to have a go of Hades at the moment, but I don't like the isometric. I really do like first-person shooter. And I can't find any that really work like this, first-person shooter and roguelike. I have tried RoboQuest. Problem with that, let me just see what that... Whoa, there's the arsonists, get out of there. Warning. But we can slow them as our superpower with this weapon. Just keep right-clicking to refract the beam when they're bunched up. Slow these guys. And this room's good, as I said. That's why I've come in here to just get some of the arsonists now they're spawning. We've got a Peddler coming up. Everything will die just on a timer, whether you ran around and killed a single thing. Just stay alive is the point of it, but I want to kill. I still haven't got a sword guard. Give me a break. Or a scroll that is defensive. Can't get my right click there. Does slow without the right click, but... Okay, there's our Peddler. This is a chance to look for some better weapons, but I'm happy with this at the moment. Change to upgrade, and then we want to see where the Peddler is. It'll always... And what's this one that's there? This one that's dropped up. Look on the screen, there's a seal I can see. Look at your mini-map the whole time. I'm scanning. Instantly defeat. So we're going to swap that for invulnerability. You can come back to that for the boss or the third set of elites, but that'll help when it gets... what are we, 4 minutes time at 20 minutes, next set of elites come out, and there are pre-elites. What's that tracking at? We haven't killed any elites yet, okay. Upgrade the off weapon, and the beauty is you can change your main weapon at any point. Defense, good. Elemental convergence with this is alright, and we'll do that. But if you go back to the rainbow, toss those. What was the second chest? I did check that, did I? Can't remember. Oh yeah, I did. Okay, we're not going to do the other chest. It'll burn, disappear at 10 minutes once those elites come. But I don't take the immunity. It could be the cursed scrolls. I'm not a gambler. I'm going to get it killed without it. I don't want something to mess up my weapon damage. Or again, I'm going to go back here, keep the long game, looking at my mini-map the whole time to make sure behind me is nothing. Just scanning it, and I can see they're all coming from this, and they're all going to be grouped up. See, it's white damage. Now in Reincarnation, now we've just got the challenge, which can be hard at this point. So you've got 5 enemies to kill. There are more than 5 on the map. There's another seal we can come back for later. That was one. Just look at the yellow dots. And the good thing is we're away. We've got good movement, so the enemies are a long way away from us. Don't think it slows these guys, getting away from those guys. You could press your kill all enemies like that, and then just have the treasure guys around if you're struggling. I wouldn't have normally done that, but I haven't got a sword guard actually. It's probably good value. It's hard to get you 5. All it does is give you a few scrolls here, and they might or might not be good. Yes, I'll take that, getting hit. And what's that one? Elemental, yep. Oh, is that the swapping one? Swapping, yeah, I don't do that. Perfect 6 is alright. Every 6 hit, we're doing a lot. I have not got a sword guard. You've got to be kidding me. And no defensive scrolls. Really easy for me to die coming up. Hoping for 1 point at least, or, you know, like lightless shield, phantom skin, heavy shield, stone skin. Any of those, I've all unlocked them all. Feline cat would be wonderful, of course, and I do have that. Chose something that, what was it that's giving me damage done to me? Sanguine. But that doesn't only helps for health regen, so if I lose my shield, it might keep me up. So we've got a injector there with our 50 kills, but it's not. It's a laser. I'm only really interested in this weapon. And this has got 50% for the top 50 rate of fire. Notice, look at my bottom right. Notice my ammo is not going down. So I'm getting 50% rate of fire on this weapon, 3,000. It was 1,200 before, because of this bottom green one. It's the only one that I'm benefiting from at the moment. I'm getting film ammo on magazine, which means that it's also, I'm not going down, but I think I got depth hands, didn't I? An ammo extractor, yeah. So I'm not using ammo for 2 seconds. So that means that 50% rate of fire, 3,000 rounds is really, look at the spores ticking on the top of that, the little numbers. It hits to, you know, it is bugged in here. Well, it should go up to 30 anyway. It might be just happening too fast. Don't need any of those. The music just went faster, which means more enhanced enemies. Something's nuking me there. I need sword guard. Look at my, with sword guard 1E, and I'm doing my E on constant cooldown. would be filling up my shield to 100 and give me max shield increase. It would be really powerful with the goblet that I got chosen. What was the other seal? I need to go and get that invincibility one that I dropped somewhere. You can see them on the mini-map where they are. Look at it now, it's hitting up. You want to bottle them into corners like that, so the enhanced beams. You see our pink numbers, which is our build. That's this here, starting to hit, and this combination. I'm not doing my Q at all, because I haven't got a one-pointer in that, or I would be, to get 30% damage reduction. These guys charge, they will charge where you are, so strafe around, keep moving in a circle, and you can burn them down with our swords out at least. But, you know, our swords out's not doing the damage. I'm just doing that more for a bit of extra. And when I get my sword guard for defense, don't really need any of those. There's 20% lucky shot chance on one of those, but it's not a lot. It's not going to make a difference. Is that the invulnerability? Oh, that's invincible one I'll keep for coming up. Get rid of those worms. There's some weapons up there I can't see because they're too high. They will be slowed, but they don't get slowed in the middle of a charge. There's the tacticians now. We're getting the snipers on us. I can hear another sniper. There he is. These are the guys, the arsonists, the elite ones. These are the elites have now spawned. See how it's our 10, 20 minute timer. If we kill the elites, everything despawns. Just want to slow that guy down. And that's the brilliance about this weapon. See the corrosion he does to me was slowing me if I got hit. Just clearing some of them. Where's the other elite over here? I can see who's in here. You can run and just run out. It's a bit congested there. I could become invincible. Oh, I've got our sword guard. Woohoo! Baby! Just in time. Now, I could become invincible. I'll do it and go in and kill him. Nothing's killing me. You can see the timer in the middle of the screen. Say cooling down above my swords out timer. By the time he's dead, everything's dead. So that's where the seals come to play. I wouldn't have done that normally. I'm just trying to show the seals. We'll get some more maybe. And I've got my sword guard. I'm happy. And in 1 point. So look at my E now. My shield's 104, 116, 128. And that's shield regen too. So that's why it's wonderful. With that as well. Now, I'm not re-rolling. I've got essence here. And on this one, I did a second one. This is my other playthrough, isn't it? So I'll keep a little bit for something up ahead. What have we got? Just anything that doesn't do weapon damage diminishing. Every flying sword deals extra damage. Well, we're doing that on really big cooldown. That could be good. Weapons damage and skill damage for 3 seconds for every ammo consumed. We're doing 3,000 ammo in 100 seconds. So that could be really nice, I think. The skill damage doesn't scale well as weapon damage. What's that? It's the snow boots. That's right, I had the corrosion shard. Now go across to your, see the little green thing on the top of the mini-map? It's telling you where, oh, I don't know, I thought that was, oh, that's telling you where the seal is that dropped. And then that's our mark there. We bump that up. Have a look on here for a scroll. Gee, don't need money, but I do want some survivability scrolls. Oh, we're going to have normal speed. I'll take that. And we'll do that for our sword. Elemental. That's movement speed because we're using the radioactive glove. I'll toss those if I go back to the other. And what dropped here before? I think it's Thunderclap. Yep, you can tell by the colour. So, got a little bit of a time. Just having a look around. We've got 2 chests coming up. It's 10 minutes to the next trimester. This is the hard one. This gets pretty difficult. I would like some survivability. Just want to see what this one is. Primary skill down. I'll burn that one and keep... it just means that our sword guard, if it got crazy, is going to keep our shield up to like 300 or something. Because it's on like no cooldown for 20 seconds at all. I've already got 80% cooldown off that one. Okay. Here's a immortal. I'm trying to get my beam off the immortal. Just trying to group them up. You're seeing our pink damage now because they're not dying instantly like in the first trimester. And I'm just trying to group them up to get elemental damage on them to slow them more than anything. Nothing behind me. I'm glancing at my mini-map. I'm going to do a mid-forward one after this and record it just to show you that it's a lot more crazy in the mid-court. This is more dangerous, less enemies, but it is a lot of fun still, the mid-forward map. Just the amount of enemies is a lot more, where these are a lot less enemies but more dangerous. This is why this weapon in here is pretty good. Just on this map where the radioactive, the rainbow on the other is, oh good, I got a survivability. So that's good in that. Minus 30% straight up damage like Stone Guard, where is it here? Like Stone Guard. But we take extra damage when our shield is down to 0. We've got good shield regen, but I've got that to compensate for the minus 30 that I'll lifesteal when I get to my health. So the synergy between certain scrolls can be really helpful. Punching them up in the doorway there. They won't be slowed if they're in the middle of a charge, so be aware of that, the bandits. But they will be slowed after the charge or if you get the corrosion on them beforehand. Okay, just trying to keep in this big room to benefit from this beam. They're coming behind me now. I can see on my mini map, so I've got to get out of here. Just clear your exits. Those arsonists can drop you quick smart. Starting to press my E on cooldown now. Just they're getting a bit more when they're big enemies in front of me. Get my shield up. You can see my shield maxing out with 1 point. The bunny is just super powerful. Most consistent of the heroes to beat in here. But as I said, I'm going to do a video on each hero and beating this one after the other. What do we get? Ammo extractor. I've already got one in that. I'll do that for defense. Now it only gives us an extra 30 to 50% defense, but we've got sword guard going out so much, and you only defend them when swords are going out. But we'll get our cooldown, so it's another great for this build because we got the goblet. See how he wasn't slowed? Now he'll be slowed. There he is, so he couldn't get us. This weapon is the best weapon for Reincarnation runs. I was doing a video yesterday of Reincarnation 8 Jockle, and I haven't put these up yet. I'm getting a bit late. I'm recording them, but it just takes a bit of time to put chapter markers and that in. But this weapon is the preferred weapon for Reincarnation runs. It's really long range, and you'll know that, except for the first act, every other map, everything's a long way away from you, and you can control the map. The only 2 weapons in the game that are auto-target is this and the radioactive glove, and they only shine with spores. They're a bit lackluster without it. So it's the Gemini spores that you need to do. Hence why, if you're unlocking, the right-hand side of the talent tree is crucial to get down to the 3rd tier. That at least lets you get weapons dropping with Geminis on the 2nd boss, 3rd and 4th act. But when you get it right down, my videos will show you how to get spores before the 1st boss. And then you destroy, and then overconsumption if you choose that as your lone wolf choice, or if you're doing co-op, I do that as my first mushroom choice. 300% weapon damage, 300% skill damage, 50% movement speed, 50% more health, 50% more shield. Now it does make it co-op. That means it makes the enemies harder to kill, but it's worth it. Just play until you get spores, then you're killing like this, in Reincarnation 8 and the hardest content in the game. Change to your shoddy, upgrade it. Silver medal I don't need because I've already got built into the hero that, but that is good for any other hero because we're killing so often we won't get a delay. So you sort of get the bunny's hero abilities on any hero. I will do a scroll map, a scroll update, the best scrolls, why they're good, which ones. If you're doing Craftsman's Inheritor, you're limited to 20 scrolls, and I choose that as my first mushroom choice on each hero now. So that takes gold out of the game. It's the only way to get spores before the 1st boss is doing that. And then you're never worrying about getting to a Craftsman. You'll be able to upgrade your shoddy the entire run at every Craftsman without money issues. Makes the runs faster too, so you're not selling weapons and scrolls and searching around for money, and you know, if you get hidden treasures or from breaking objects around the room or extra coppers. What are we looking at our timers? We've got a Peddler coming up, 26 minutes is the Peddler. And this gives you a chance if you haven't done your upgrades. I just know my builds automatically. All those builds are in my other videos, but I'll probably do, I think I might just do one of each map of 8s and update my spiritual assaults, because the treasure hunters are different, the seals are there. That'll spread our blossom. Remember, our build is 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th. That'll just mean that you'll see our pink damage spreading, especially with this weapon. It's brilliant. You'll see, it's like a double spores. Boom, boom, boom. Don't do that, but I'll see what scroll I get. I want a survivability on a skateboarder. I'm already filling my ammo with all, I don't need that. It's just totally redundant, filling up a spot that doesn't do anything for my bunny. But I do like this. That would let me go back and get things from the chest, but we're towards the end now, so I would do that if it was earlier. Just going to see if I can get some survivability. No, I don't want that. Movement, I do like that. I'd like survivability though. We'll just fly around. This is survivability. Recognise that moving is life in here. So I've now got 50%, and then that's given me 80%, and then I've got 25% from my concentrator. So that is 105, plus I'm getting 50% from my hero. So it's 155 movement speed, and if I dash, 195% movement speed for 3 seconds. Really helpful on the boss, and I always think ahead of the boss, just dashing out of those hands or getting to a pillar to be safe. Okay, I haven't missed anything, have I? I've got invincibility. If you don't know what that invincibility is, press your C key and you can see your 20 scrolls are actually at capacity now. It doesn't count that one. Is you can mouse over if you're not used to the symbols, and I'm not used to them yet, I keep forgetting. So primary skill cooldown for that. I would like to get invincibility. If one drops, I'll replace that one. I don't need movement. I don't need primary cooldown. You can see I've got it down pretty good. Now shield's covered, but it's up to 170. 180 from 80, so I'm doubling my shield by just spamming my E. Whether it's hitting anything or not doesn't matter. How much we got on Elite there? We got 2 elites for 20% kill. Should start getting some more elites stacked up for damage. That was that rare scroll we got down there. You can track it. I'm going to die if I do that. I did not stacking veteran. I forgot about that. I'm not going to try to. Too dangerous. There's a build done on the bird I use called the Unkillable. Oh, we got something finally, and that's going to drop a scroll. I'm going to see what scroll it's going to drop. Decay driver. That's all right. Forget about that. That was 20% movement speed for this weapon. I don't need movement. I usually do a scroll check. Now we're at 26 minutes, so 4 minutes. It's going to heat up now. 4 minutes to the boss. Or to the elites, that they're really, these guys can hurt. That sword guard 1 point has saved my life, and that minus 80% on my primary skill being cast is saving my life. So it's making up for being bad on the RNG of not getting many defensive scrolls. And that's the beauty of this game. The RNG can compensate. But it's all about survivability here. We're going to have the damage with spores always. I've not even got a great weapon, but the rate of fire, just that 1 green, nothing else is helping us, and it won't help us on the boss. That, you know, the thing about the 50% rate of fire is we will have that uptime on the boss, and we know we're hitting over 2800 at the moment. Warlike Blade. So if you're trying to beat this just for the first time, go the bunny. It's worth that 400. Just that playthrough, none of those are helping me, but that's a good one for other heroes that don't have it built in, as I said before. Just trying to group them up here. Something's lobbing corrosion at me. Oh, that guy is. These are pre-elites. but you want to get the elites down. I'm just did my G key to just do constant, kick my shield up while I got that Gadine. Look at that, 500 shield by doing that. That would have been a good one for a boss, I suppose. I just want to get that elite down with all the enemies around. Show you another seal. We should get another seal, but maybe not. Let's see. I've got everything I need to kill the boss, by the way. I'm not worried about the boss. I'm just wanting to kill all this stuff. Just spamming my E key to keep my shield buffed. See when I'm getting hit like that? Oh, I didn't get hit then, but I get hit, I'm pretty sure my E will just fill up my shield again. That's sword guard for you, and that's only 1 point. Well, it's been compensated by the cooldown of my E is 80% down, so it's down to like 1,000. It's on 1 second cooldown, I think. Remember, your skills don't count in here, so I've only got 3 secondaries. Didn't even get my 1 pointer in here, which I usually get one of those. Which, you know, you do a Q one like that. I just do a Q quickly, it paints them up, and then means they're not doing 30% less damage to you, but I'm not doing my Q at all because I don't have that. I'm trying to bunch them up behind me, looking at my mini-map constantly to know that behind me is clear. Just got a second sword guard. Good timing. Just keeping all the reds behind me, moving in a circle, knowing that they're going to go up to this room again now. Try to bunch them up for my enhanced beam that I'm clicking now. He was about to charge at me, killing those worms up there. Pretty fun. I mean, it's just so powerful. You know, you come in here without spores. I don't know. I remember doing this in the early days on the other map. Well, I'm going to get out of here. And wondering how on earth are you supposed to beat this? And I didn't do this until I did the end game and had all the content beat and thought, oh, I better go back and work this out. Now, I'd worked out that I've got to get out of here. Got to really get out of here. This is where dash and movement's good, just getting out of danger. I worked out that spores was good, and I worked out, okay, I know that spores is really good and you want to get that as soon as you can. And then I worked out that spores has actually got to do with weapon level. So in Reincarnation, you can etch in Act 1 spores if the weapon drops at level 2, and you've only got 2 craftsmen. So you have to bump up each weapon to level 5. The elites are coming now, they've just spawned. I better be quiet, I'll talk about that later or I'll die. Lots of purple on the map. You can go around if you don't have a lot of survivability. Just clear any snipers into a room, kill the odd elite like that. And now this is where it'd be nice to have that persistent snap where you just kill all the other enemies. Just going to get rid of this arsonist. Well, he just took my whole shield off. I wasn't pressing my E. Now look at my E going, my shield going back because I'm just spamming my E key again. It's just great. You get hit and the shield's back up. So it's not only getting your max shield capacity, which means you take a bigger hit, but it means that, let me just upgrade that. Temporary. Now I've got the elites on their own there. It's only elites now. I've got most of the other enemies down. So you can clear the other enemies out and then just go for the elites. Got to get this corrosive guy down actually. The other thing about this weapon is it does burn through their armour, the yellow above the head, because it's corrosion, and that's their weakness. Get away at range. Just keep moving because they will aim the get rid of the Coyote, he's easy. We're level 45, just got an upgrade, nothing good. So as I said, we'll be about 45 on this map, which is what you are on the other map, and the portal's open. And what do we get? Don't really need anything in now, spreading it, you can choose what you want. I'm doing my swords out, so I'll do a sword. I don't do the swords build, I usually do the Blossom Enthusiast build for Reincarnation. So I really haven't looked at weapons because it's been a bit hectic and chatting away, but we'll just see if there's a better weapon for bossing, otherwise this will do. The advantage of this on the boss is it's got more range. The the rainbow does a right click for crit and lucky shot and things that might be on the inscription. I can't see anything, we've got enough to kill the boss. Be careful when you come here, especially in co-op. Just remind your friends, don't go past these peddlers, because if you go, it's just proximity based to start the fight. You won't get a chance at a scroll, which is getting down to 50. That's the scroll that's really good to get if you didn't have that minus. Now look at our cooldown of this now, which remember, look at our shield, 200, 300, 400, 400 it's capping out at, which means you're just spamming that at the boss and keeping a shield, so you can survive a hit. It's just great defensiveness. We've bounced that up. We've got a base damage of 400. If you get chests, mysterious chests that want to give you 3 levels, take that one. If you don't have great survivability, take the one that gives you health shield. Would be the 2 there. What did it toss out? Crits, I will take that. Now get rid of anything that isn't going to help for bossing. So not really, how much did I get on that? I got 45, that's 45 health, that's something. So get rid of corrosion shard. And what else? I don't have to get rid of anything else because I'm at my 20. Bump up your weapon, which we did, and we're good to go. Make sure you're full on ammo, which we don't know. I don't know why the special ammo is burned there. I've got money to burn, 10,000 gold, nothing to spend it on, which I don't care. What do we get there? We got 11, 110% just from getting that elite assassin because of the elites we killed. On the 6 shot, that's just 1 in every 7. We're doing 3,000 rounds, so you know that's a 7th percentage of your weapon damage increase. That's giving us 45% more weapon damage from our goblet over there. But that rapid cast is really good. It won't help you on the fox, by the way, that's energy based, but nor will that scroll that I just said hoo-hoo at. We're going to burn this guy pretty quick. The only thing is you can't shoot through the pillars, and the other weapon does do that. What you going to do? You're going to put a pillar down, just keep moving for this part. He's going to do the swipe, which I'm going to get just out of it, get close. He probably usually does a second swipe, jump, or you can be behind a pillar and that'll block it. Just keep moving when he does circles, it's one of the easier ones. Go long. That's the one that hurts you the most, and the one that he does where he pulls you in, which is now. And get behind, don't even try to, you can do it there, but he'll explode you and that can one-shot you. Now the beam, the rainbow shoots through that, and you would probably have him down now with the rainbow. He's putting a pillar down. Look, our damage is so high with spores and a few of those other choices we did. Really wasn't skill damage doing that. I've done that many times without the rapid cast. We get about 550, 600 essence usually. There you go, 580. 32 minutes. I'd say another 5 minutes added on to that for the elite. It's in between the 10-minute timers. It does include the boss there. So about 37 minutes you get that much essence. But you can smash it. And I'll just do a bit of a summary here. So Spirit Concentrator, that makes the Geminis drop early. And really I don't know why you do anything other than in there. Just spores, the injectors. Actually like that. So that's the injector and shotgun. That makes, you can you saw every one I could upgrade, and when I had no gold early in the first trimester, I can upgrade everything, re-roll everything. If I get unlucky I don't normally have the gold, so I'm not waiting for a third in, and I might die before then. I should do a comparison of doing it without doing that. Well, I won't do that, but let me tell you, you are struggling to kill anything. They really do become bullet sponges every 10 minutes. Or when it becomes fiercer. That one is for movement speed of rate of fire. That helps every enemy because spores operates as you saw. Rate of fire just destroyed that boss because I was doing like 3,000 rounds in 100 seconds where the gun base damage was only 1,200. That one just gives you ammo. You can see I was never struggling with ammo. And that gave us, at level 45, I think I was, 135 weapon damage straight up. And then our goblets, I just took what I was given, but you know, sometimes you can re-roll. If you're not doing this for Essence, you can re-roll. But I got some pretty good choices on that anyway. And that's a must, of course, to get your Gemini inscriptions. And that's an optional. I used to change some of those out, like, you know, on the bird, I used to use, does it show me the bird in here? No, it won't. Minus 30% damage for if you're within 10 meters or 7 meters of the enemy. And I'd stack veteran and things, but now I just do the same build on everything, because once I get spores and I get a few scrolls, I'm playing the bird, I'm playing everything in the spiritual assaults, even in the Reincarnation ladder acts, just like this. I'm using my skills for survivability and my others for damage. Confirm, apply. Just to say, if I was doing a Reincarnation run, just as an end little thing for this new adventure, I would be doing Lone Wolf and overconsumption because of those. I won't explain that, it's in my other videos. But 300% weapon damage, skill damage, getting your primary down to 3 seconds. I'm using the bunny as an example, but anything it'll bring down. Movement speed, 50% straight up, plus our 50% on the hero. I got 100% before scrolls as I move into there. And I get extra 50% health and shield. Now it does make it 2-player co-op there, so it does make it fiercer, but it'll carry you through. I've usually got 60% plus of those statistics. So I've got 200% weapon damage and skill damage by the time I do the last boss in Act 4 on Mysterious Jockle. That makes the last act harder. And this is just new, so a bit of a summary on this while I'm here. That actually makes it harder, not easier in the game, because if you get Phantom Skin, and it says they will randomly get, I can tell you on an 8 Jockle that I did, and I did 3 or 4 of them to test it, everything in the room gets Phantom Skin. You've got to burn through 3 of their shields before you actually start damaging them. So they're actually not an advantage that you get to choose these scrolls. It's actually mixing up and making it harder. And some people like that. It was a bit of fun. I had a laugh just seeing the scrolls I was picking up and seeing the enemies get it. And, you know, I did a bit of a video, which again I haven't uploaded. I'm a bit lazy on that lately. You know, just do it to help others. I don't make any money off it. You know, Spiritual Link really doesn't probably benefit from my starting. You can tick that, it doesn't hurt you. But that's what I do. And if I was doing like an 8 Jockle, that gives you an extra refresh on the Peddlers. So the Phantom Peddlers get a refresh, and the normal Peddlers get 2 refreshes, so you get 3 choices of weapons. And that makes the last act. You don't have to turn that on, I'm just saying that's what that does. Now when I come into here, I'm actually going to also choose Craftsman's Inheritor. So I'm already wanting to be, because of overconsumption, which scrolls diminish its power. So I would re-roll once or twice if I didn't have much. That's really good, by the way, with the Radioactive Glove. I do choose that ahead because they don't crit, and the Rainbow don't crit every second hit. Remember, I was doing 3,000 rounds. Well, every second hit's a crit without having to hit the crit spot of the enemy. And the Radioactive Glove obviously is a long way away, and the Rainbow, you've got to play the short game. But I'll just look through here. So I do 2 or 3. That one is good along the way of trying to get your first kill. But you can quit and come back in and not be charged for your rolls. Even in co-op, like yesterday, I did a run with my son. We did an 8 Jockle, and see, it said 0 next to that. Don't know why it took those ticks out. It usually doesn't. They said they fixed that, but you just come back in until you get it. And I had more S's to burn than he did, so you know, I'd say, you got it, and he would do 2 or 3 rolls. Yeah, I got it, and then I'd just burn some essence, or if you didn't both have much, you could do 2 or 3 roll eats until you both got it. So I want to get Craftsman's Inheritor that turned up the second start, and that's the way to start. Again, the same thing, I'll get spores before the first boss. There is a bit of an RNG on where the Peddlers appear, if they appear too early, or the Craftsman appears too early. That might happen 2 out of 8 times. You won't get spores, but overconsumption will blitz the first boss anyway on an 8, just because you got 300% weapon and skill damage to destroy it. But with spores, it will last about 8 seconds, the first boss on an 8. And you'll get it by the first Craftsman in the next act. And anything that drops on that boss or beyond, it can be etched if you've got your tree down. Now, in terms of just a quick one while I'm putting this, because I've been lazy on my videos, but going back here, I'm going to quit. Again, you don't get charged for any rolls. It's got a 0 next to my essence there, see, +0. It's got no minuses. But if you go into here, into talents, the talent order that you want to fill out if you haven't got everything maxed out, get down to that tier as quick as you can. If you're unlocking normal, and let me say Reincarnation 1 to 5 is easier than Nightmare, and by that time Reincarnation gets easier as your skill tree starts to get down. So I'd say, you know, I can blitz through an 8, easier than a Nightmare early game. I mean, the Nightmare I do once, because you don't get the starting choices that I just showed you, Lone Wolf and the other. If you do co-op, just choose overconsumption on your first mushroom, which is what I did with my son yesterday. Son's in his 20s. I'm an older bloke. And this one here, you want to get down to there as quick as possible, but of course you've got to spend in these trees because they're cheaper up top. So you want to unlock at level 60, and at 60 I did to 100. In 2.5 hours I went from 60 to 100 and to 198 actually in 2.5 hours, and then I was sweet to just blitz through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, one after another using spores to unlock the game. And I then did a jockle, and that was 21 hours, just over 20 hours actually, 20.5 hours on that play through, on that save that I did. That's the best I've done, and now I've worked out the order. So you want these 3 trees, your most important. So you want to fill out, you know, a bit to shield and get to here. These are co-op and these are co-op. These ones are important, especially for co-op if you're doing it. But if you're just doing solo, this tree down to there is important. This tree down to there, remember that's your first tree down to there, not so much on that straight up. Then you want to start getting that down to there. Not important, but this is really important to get your grenade count up, and that's important to get your primary skill, which is my swords out I'll use as the example on that one. Unlock that now, and just a bit of a hint here, this one is what you start with the game. As soon as this unlocked, I unlocked him. He's more robust because of his heroes have got survivability, and his Q gives 2 weapons level, and that's also good. This becomes all right later game when you start to get some survivability stuff and there's trees down. So you want to get down to there as first priority, then you want to get down to there as second priority, and then, you know, you've got those 3, and when you've got those down, you want to go down to here, down to there. The Peddler is your last priority, and money. Now that will be helpful to get a few. You've got to spend some to get these levels down because they're cheaper at the top of the tier. Just some money early is helpful for normal and elite runs and to beat your other run. But once you can choose Craftsman's Inheritor on Reincarnation, that's unlocked. This tree becomes relevant except for here, which you want to be able to refresh your Peddler for a second chance at your shotguns really, or your main weapon. Just, you know, you can get that at the Peddlers on the way through and the Peddler before the first boss. So that is important later on, but not first priority, it's last. Anyway, that's the skill tree, but I went to that went from that character to that character. When I had a few of these down, I saved up after a normal run 400 and unlocked that, and then did the rest of the unlocks with him. Simply, you saw how powerful he was in there. So if you're looking for the hero, if you like melee, he's very strong, and I linked to an unkillable build, elite build on that guy. He's invincible when he gets those Ascensions, but there is a bit of RNG whether you're going to get it. The dog's very powerful. The hardest to do R8 jockles on is this guy, but this guy's the most. He's the hardest. He just doesn't have the defensiveness that you saw me blitzing it with in Spiritual Assault. Anyway, maybe that's helped you if you still... I know it was about Spiritual Assault in the new map, but we'll leave it there. And I'll try to get some of those other videos I've recorded recently, and I'll try to get a scroll check and a weapon check. But yeah, the 3 weapons you saw that I use is the Wild Hunt, the Argus. Just to say, in terms of spore weapons, as a temporary one in Spiritual Assault, I'll go there real quick. Logbook. Some of these, the only weapon that doesn't unlock is the Radioactive Glove. You've got to do Elite or harder, and you've got to kill 20 venomous lizards. So I'm just trying to find the injectors there. There they are. There's that one. So 20 venomous lizards, they only appear in Act 2. There's a bit of a trick. Not that I do this, but you can save at the campfire. Go through Act 2 if you're just wanting to unlock that. I just did 4 runs and unlocked it of a complete run. Now, remember also to unlock Reincarnation 1 to 8, you only have to go to the third boss and then exit through the right door, don't do the fourth act. I did do the fourth act for Reincarnation 1 to 4, and then when I started to have my skill tree down, I just wanted to get 8 unlocked and finish it. So I just went to the third act. And then I did 8 full run, and then 8 Jockle full run, just to make it complete at the hardest difficulty. So that's the only one that doesn't unlock. All the rest of the ones unlock in normal. These are specialised weapons. I'm not too fussed about them. I mean, it's a decent fire weapon, but I don't do a fire build. As you saw, I do a spore build. Shotguns, best 2 shotguns, good as a temporary. Not too bad if you don't get one of these 2. That's got a higher projectile count, but the base damage is less. So even the Sunder, though, that doesn't show in here that it's got projectile count. It has a projectile count of 9 and 75 base damage, I think. So it's all right in a pinch as well. Anything with 2 numbers, basically. You know, like projectile 12 and the base damage is 80 at level 0. So they're for your spore weapons. Anyway, have a good day. The Angelic Aura is good in a pinch. Anything fast firing for the main weapon to plant the spores until you get the injectors. Have a good day.